All right, Alfredo, it's 2 o'clock, so let's get the show on the road. Thank you everybody for joining us. This is Leveraging Market Stats to Boost Your Business series. We do this every single month on going over the latest official stats from not just Miami, but Broward and Palm Beach. And we've actually been doing this every single month for 5 years. We haven't missed a month. And the reason why it's a success is the different Miami leaders that come on that talk about the market, that have the boots on the ground. And we have one of our greatest leaders. He is going to be our 2025 Miami chairman-elect. He's Alfredo Pujol, and I understand you might have some guests joining us a little bit later.
Yeah, so I'm excited to be here. So everyone that's jumping on, we got 20 of you. Make sure you share the links and come register. Chris gave me the intro, so I'm your 2026 chairman elect or 2025 chairman elect, and I'm excited to serve. We're gonna have an awesome time. Chris does a great job getting this communication out to you. So I didn't know it was a month for every month for the last 4 years. So I've been watching these with all the leaders. So those of you, thanks for jumping in. And Chris, the show is yours. I'll just hopefully do some good color commentary, and we'll have some fun.
I'm sure you will. Yeah, it's going to be a fun hour. Thank you guys for making the time out of the day to be with us. We're going to make it worth your while. So let's go to our agenda for today. We're going to talk about September stats that are being released to the media today. You guys are getting the first look, not just about the stats, but then, Alfredo's going to really give you some of the trends and how you could use some of those tips to better your business. All right. So, and like I said, yeah, we've been doing that every single month, and we already have the next two already planned out, and some great leaders on deck. We got Justine in November and George Get Her Jr. in December. So you guys can register for those. And we are also, by the way, I should also say, we are also streaming on social media. We're live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And so one of the main questions, I try to type it in the chat now, is members will like, could I get this PowerPoint? And the answer is yes. If you type your email in the chat, I'll compile them at the end, and I'll make sure to email it to you this afternoon. So you're able to, take some time to look over all the stats and the graphics, a lot of graphics in this PowerPoint. And this, if you have to remember one website, it's this one here, sfmarketintel.com. It's where we put all of our graphics, all of our videos, all of our reports. Hey, we have new Q3 reports for every single city in county in the Tri-County area. Third quarter, every city, and zip code, sfmarketintel.com. It should be there by the end of the afternoon. All right, so I'm sorry, Alfredo. Alfredo, so let me go through some of these graphics here, and then I'll ask you a question on Miami-Dade. So these are some of the top indicators that caught my eye in looking over the stats. Miami-Dade, when you look at Q3 versus 2024 versus Q3 2023, it's up in terms of single-family home sales. And you can see condos, 1 million and up, are up as well versus pre-pandemic. And then let's take a look at Broward. Here's a look at Broward. Some of the top indicators. Here's Palm Beach. So we'll go back here to Miami-Dade. I know, Alfredo, you were born, I believe you were born and raised in the 305.
Yes.
And you also do business in Broward, so perfect one to talk to here. Alfredo, there's a lot of talk now about condos and the new state regulations that go into effect starting December 31 and how it could impact. But those regulations don't impact every condo building and every condo owner. But how would you say that those regulations are coming into effect when you're talking to buyers and sellers, actually?
And so yes, I am born and raised in the 305. Actually, reside in Broward, but now in Miami Beach. So working down there. So the condos is something that we see, and I think this is a great stat for those of you that keep hearing all these issues with the condos. Yes, that is something that we are going to see for some condos, the ones that maybe have not done the reserves, that have not taken the time to follow the process that they need to. But you could see the $1 million are up. So the good condos, the condos that have reserves, the condos that have followed the rules, the condos that have done the right things, and they are going to keep seeing the values increase, the values stay solid. So your buyers that are looking, especially from other areas, it's our job, and hopefully this information that Chris is providing, it's our job to decipher and tell everyone out there watching this. Because if you watch the news, everybody says that the condos, our market is not selling or moving, and that's the contrary. It's certain pockets or certain things, and it's understanding that. So this is a great stat to use because the prices and the values have gone up. And if you could see, even on the higher price point, those condos have the reserves, they have that, and even some of the smaller boutique condos, they did the right thing. So as Miami and Florida realtors, we're working to teach and educate not just us, the realtors, but also the local officials to be able to get ahead of this so we don't have these issues.
Yeah, no, I love it. Excellent job there. Um, and so here's a look at Broward, and you can see the same thing that on condos 1 million up sales versus pre-pandemic. It's night and day difference there and where the market is. And here's Palm Beach County. All right, so Alfredo, let's move on to another hot topic here, mortgage rates. The Fed made its first rate cut in 4 years in September, and so expecting rates to fall, but they haven't. They've actually got increased since that Fed cut, which is very interesting. Now it's at 6.85, but everybody, including our chief economist, says that rates will fall. When rates fall, how is that going to impact our market?
Well, that we don't know. I think the famous quote that I hear all the time is the best time to plant the tree was a year ago. The best time to plant it is now. I got the quote wrong, but the rates are going to stay around there. So the rates are not going to, you're not going to see a huge drop from a 6% to a 3. You're not going to see that. So I think it's helping the client understand that it might adjust a little bit, but if your goal is to long-term purchase or be in a market like Miami, which is becoming the new hub for everybody, which don't worry, there's a final stat that you have in there, Chris, that is going to show that I think the rates, you're looking at the rates are going to stay at this range. So it's getting your clients used to that and understanding that they're buying now a product that they're going to be there for a long time. If they're buying for
Yeah.
other purposes, then that might be a little bit of a challenge. If they're doing it for investments or certain things, they have to look at the rate a little bit more.
Yeah. So you're saying we won't get back to the 2% rate, 3% rate
I
in a
hope.
lifetime?
I mean, I hope one day, but I mean, if you look, if you just do it, if you divide these numbers out, the average rate always if you look at a stat over when rates were being tracked, you can see here like the 70s, the average is about 5 to 6, 7%. So from 6, it's not going to drop to 3. That was a rare case because of the market change. And I know we'll talk about it later, but because a lot of people purchased in the lower rates and a lot of people bought at a lower price, it should remain pretty stable for the coming future. But we never know. Nothing surprises me today, Chris. But the rates on average is 5 to 7% as a normal market.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, excellent. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the Miami market fundamentals. What makes Miami different from a New York, a Chicago, and LA? Today I was reading the NAR's news release, and they release their stats the same day as we do. And Lawrence Yun had a great quote in there in terms of saying sales are down nationally, and when you see the stats, when we get to close sales, you're going to see sales are down versus year over year. But he puts a great quote in there in terms of saying the market is ready for more home sales because of mortgage rates are expected to fall, and then our inventory, we have more inventory than last year, and then lastly our job market. So these are some of the fundamentals. Alfredo, let me ask you here on the population. This is what Lawrence Hughes was talking about. We have more population moving here. These are the people that are going to need housing, correct, Alfredo?
Yeah, we're super business friendly. So that's why the businesses are moving here because our state has done a good job. So go out there and vote, but our state's done a good job and they've really supported businesses. And that's why we see the increase of people coming in from California, Chicago, and New York, and even from Texas there, which is also a big rise. And I think the stat that at one point we had was I think 700 or 900 license plates were changing each day for people coming down here. So I think it's a good thing. I think It's for those of us that were born and raised here, it's something to learn and figure out. I know Chris, you're from the other coast, so I don't see that slowing down. Now housing has to catch up, and you're going to see that also in as they build attainable housing or that rental product as that comes in, and that's going to come in now in the 2026 or that range. So that should help alleviate some of this housing also and help uh, you be able to find your clients properties and be able to tackle this.
Excellent. Okay. Yes, I am from California, grew up in Los Angeles, and it's crazy. Like when I first moved here, didn't really see a lot of people from California, but it's a different story now. And then so Alfredo, this one makes Miami special. Nobody has this international migration. And I know you step foot on both Miami-Dade and Broward, but combine Miami-Dade and Broward, that is what? Almost 70,000
Yep.
international migration that no one has that, and that makes us unique, right?
Yeah, that kind of insulates us a little bit in any market. So, and that insulates us, and especially when you're talking to your clients. So, right, we saw the influx of people from California, like I mentioned, New York, Chicago, those big feeder markets. But if that market slows down because of interest rates or something changes, who's next? Our international clients, and those clients are coming in. And as they come in, Miami is a place where they come into. There's a lot of industry here. Pretty much, if you go start from Key West up north, there's multiple languages taught spoken in Miami and Broward. So I think that's one of the things that we have unique here is we're so diversified in our culture that our markets tend to bounce back quicker or to be a little bit more stable, and at least looking to the future.
Yeah, no, 100%. All right. And then Alfredo, you mentioned this, the all the companies that are moving here. Obviously everybody knows about Citadel, but we have Goldman Sachs, CI Financial, which is from Canada, Blackstone, all these tech companies. And this has translated to this wealth migration. Really, when you look at the income of households moving to South Florida, we have to give a shout out. This stat was from our chief economist, Gay Croratone, did a great job in terms of looking at the IRS data. But this is going to have a lot of impact years and years into the future, this money moving here.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I know Gay is watching, so don't worry, Gay. We won't let you down. Me and Chris are hopefully the everybody's getting some value here. But that I think Chris is the equalizer. We never had the industries the way we have, and now there's a lot of talent coming in, and it's also uh, you're seeing that wealth come in, but that wealth brings businesses. They bring their families. They bring opportunities that we've always been a special city. Now it's just more on the map, and people know about Florida, about Miami, Broward, West Palm Beach.
Yes. And take a look at this, Alfredo. That you just mentioned this. You mentioned right on the nose. New York, California, New Jersey. These are the ones that when you look at the driver's license exchanges data, those are the top states. These are the feeder states.
This is a
Uh,
good. I just want to share. This is a good one for all of you on this webinar, and I really appreciate you all taking the time to jump in on it. This is a good one to show or send out to people. You might have people on your feed, on your Instagram, on your Facebook. You might have people that are in those markets, or they're looking, at secondary properties, or looking to move in here. This is a great feature to show. It's not just New York, Chicago and California. We have other areas that are bringing in businesses or that they're moving down here.
yes. And I love these two graphics here. When you trying to like tell the story of the wealth migration, look at the 10 million and up home sales are just through the roof, 100 up 118%. And then the one on the right, Gabe was able to do this in one of her economic insights, the market value. These are numbers that not a lot of markets have, right, Alfredo?
Yeah, we've taken off. We've taken off. So I mean, I'll throw it to the chat. I don't know if we can make it super interactive, but by like a show of hands, if you all know how to hit that little reaction and give a hands up or a thumbs up, how many are feeling this? Right, things are a little bit more expensive, but it's also you see the values, right? Or people are selling them. So that's definitely something. Thank you, Richard. He got the thumbs up. But yeah, this is a great stat to know because the values have gone up for a lot of us that have been here for many years. The values have jumped.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at the chat. Pamela asked, define what 10 million and up. That's each home sale at least $10 million, and that's what's tracked in that stat. And as you can see, there's 224 at least $10 million home sale. And this is according to the MLS.
Yeah, and Gay wrote something, and if you all want to look at it, they provide the stats is also on the Miami Association website. But Gay had mentioned something in her report is 73% of sales that are $1 million and up are cash. So they're cash buyers that are coming in and buying these properties. So like these $10 million properties they're not using financing, they're not using anything. They're just coming in obviously and buying cash. So these people are there, and it's kind of look to your right, look to your left, and start talking to these people because we're a global market now.
I love that. 73% cash. Wow. Okay, so let's move on. Our global study, we do this every single year, and thank you to everybody who submitted the survey earlier. So this is 2023. We are in the process of tabulating, and then we will release it normally in December. But can you answer these questions in the chat? Do you know what is the top foreign country purchasing in South Florida? We'll see who gets it first. Alfredo, you could chime in if you like. You could type it into, and then how many total countries purchase real estate in South Florida? And number three, what percentage of Florida global real estate sales are made in South Florida? Number three is the hardest one, but we'll see who is able to win this trivia.
Chris, I want to know too. So I'm excited to see who's gonna, and that means we know if you're paying attention or not. So I see
Yes,
Colombia. So Lori is paying attention. Canada. Okay, Beatrice got Canada. So I think that's one of them for sure. For sure in Broward. I know that
we'll see.
Canada.
We'll have the
So
answers a little bit later.
all right. Oh, okay there, but wait, there's more. All right. The rest of you put it in the chat. So we want to make this interactive. If you're driving, do not put it in the chat.
Yes, definitely. All right, median sale price. First, we should mention this graphic. At the bottom, you'll see it says August 2024, but we need to update this. But if you go to CoreLogic today and look at October 2024, their home price insights, Miami is again number one. So this is a common thing where, other markets are seeing prices drop, not here. And you're going to see this as, even with rates near 7%, single family home prices are up 8.9%, condos are up 1.2. Alfredo, let me go through. Okay,
Wait,
here
if
is
you want to go back to that one, because I got a celebrity here. So those of you that don't know, we're here at the CEO symposium. So this is your Broward, Miami president, Larry Singh. So sorry, Chris, this is gonna be a fun one today. So for those of you on there, we're gonna have a good time here. So Larry, medium sales price. See that jump?
Yeah. What are we at? 2.21%. That shows even though nationally you're looking at a trendward down, South Florida's market is so strong that you're showing it's trendward up. That means everybody that's moving to South Florida are still creating an avenue where the market is strong for us. So it's up to us to figure out how to capitalize on that.
You like that, Alan? I brought a
oh,
VIP for you on here.
I love it. I love it. It was perfect timing too. It came right in at Broward County. You couldn't have done it better. I love it. Thank you, Larry.
It was not planned. I promise.
All right, so let's move it. Here's a look at Palm Beach. So you can see our three counties continue to appreciate in price. So let's take a look historically here. Here's Miami-Dade, and you can see the jump. What I like to look at is 2020 pandemic. It's really gone to another level. And Larry, since you're still here, we do have Broward. And Larry, going back to when you look at 2008, and you can see how far Broward real estate has gone. It's really amazing the demand, not just domestically but globally, right?
Sorry, I got on mute and we got like music in the background. Go ahead, Larry.
So if you look at it, right, what was written up just a few months ago, Broward County, Fort Lauderdale specifically, is one of the hottest places to move in the country right now because of the lack of supply in Miami-Dade County. The overflow is now pouring into Broward, which is also pushing up the sales price because there's just so much demand right now across just Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County.
And look at this report for those of you watching this. Look at this report, how it spikes up, right? So you saw it only went up 2.2%. but it went up 108, it went 200%. So everybody that bought has gotten that equity in there.
Correct.
So now, if you look at it, if you look at this and you terms it to a market, a stock, or something like that, it went up, but now it's finding its number. So these numbers might never drop. This might be your new normal, where you look at a home is at 600,000. So that is something. Those of you writing, you get the slides. Don't worry. Chris sends out an awesome newsletter every week. I think, Chris, I don't want to mess it up. And then he's also going to send it to you. So just put your email in the chat and we'll get it to you.
Perfect.
So if you look at what's happening, the stabilization of what's going on right now, and that graph is showing a prime example of that stabilization, even within the condo market, with so much inventory coming onto the condo market. See, I listened to some of these national news channels, and they talk about market stats, and they're saying, well, inventory has crept up 50, 100% in some locations. But what they're not taking into consideration here in South Florida specifically is the law changes that are going into effect January 1st. So when you segregate the data from condos to single family residents, you see it here specifically with 120% on the single family home compared to 108 to the condos, right? So it's still showing a very strong market for us.
This is good timing. See, this is
Oh.
better. I got better speakers, Chris. Don't worry. Hopefully, we're gonna roll in some more. So hopefully, y'all are enjoying this content.
This is a star-studded webinar. Thank you. Um, Great. Yeah. So here's a look at Palm Beach, and same story that Larry was talking about on single family side and also condos. You know, that doesn't get mentioned in the media, but all three counties, when you look at condo appreciation, continue to increase. And
What do you want?
so now let's take a look at active listings. They're still near historical lows. This was from 2023. You can see the average and how it's actually what Larry was talking about, how the inventory is still not, yes, it is increased, but it's not at the historical average.
Yeah, the inventory, and we'll see it in a slide coming up, but the inventory is starting to creep up, but it's still average. It's balanced for the most part in some pockets, and it depends on what areas that they are.
Yes. And then, so this is a great graphic to tell the story of how Miami Miami real estate has more bang to the buck, right? You get more value in Miami versus a New York, a London, Hong Kong. It's really amazing. And Alfredo, I wanted to ask you about here because I'm sure there'll be a question in the chat. Hey, you know, we just saw the prices, they're increasing. This kind of, Alfredo, this looks like a 2008. How would you answer that type of
The
question?
famous 2008. That was my second 1 year and a half into real estate. I started 07 right as Lehman Brothers. I didn't even know what a Lehman Brothers was right out of college. I could say that now. They're no longer a company, but that some of you might have been a part of this. 08, like it says there, was excessive borrowing. It was a lot of speculation. What we've seen throughout the last 10 years really is the market has been a regular market. And for Miami, I use New York and other areas as that, but New York and other areas had these changes and the market still remained strong. So I don't think, and don't quote me, I don't think there's going to be something where you're going to see a big change, especially from our market. Could we have adjustments? Yes, but we don't see it because, like it says, there were no exotic loans. There was no major changes in the market. It was traditional financing. Borrowers had to be qualified, and we've, like you said in the beginning, we've had a stable job growth and stable industry.
Yes.
Oh man, we got another celebrity coming up, so get ready, Chris.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's go to the next slide here. Here's a slide I put together in terms of why buy a home now. A lot of the points that we've already talked about, but the one that I like is, you know, housing is not like stocks and bonds. It's a place to live and shelter. Hey, Jonathan, how's it going?
Hey Chris, how are you doing?
So we got our I just want to make sure I gotta do like a Flavor Flav hype man intro. So Jonathan, your Miami president. So good timing for him. Why buy a home? I think he will share, Chris, but Why buy a home, Jonathan?
There you go.
Welcome to the hot seat.
Well, listen, I was just walking by and I was hoping to answer this question. Listen, I think it obviously it's going to depend, but this is some of the best inventory levels at least I have seen in the last 18 months. So I think a lot of people have options. We all know, one of the things I've been saying and seeing recently is that, everybody keeps talking about like, months of inventory that are on the market, etc. But remember, that's because sales have been slow. We know there's a lot of people on the sidelines. So, when I'm talking to our buyers, I'm just telling them, listen, the factors for you buying a home haven't changed. Do you need a home? Does it make sense? Does it fit your criteria? Obviously, can you afford it? If so, if something's on the market, why are you going to hold off because you want to make some prediction, like a tarot card reader of what's going to happen in the market? If it makes sense for you, do it. And this is some of the best inventory levels I've seen in a while.
Yeah, and Jonathan just did this whole I think you did one of these a month ago, 2
Yeah.
months ago. So if you haven't, go watch the recap, wealth of knowledge over here.
Yeah, no, that's a great insight. I love it. I love all these different celebrities that are coming in. Thank you. But great point. There's a lot of people on the sidelines waiting to make a move. All right, let's talk about closed sales. Okay, I mentioned this at the top. You're going to see the numbers are down, and Alfredo, I'll show you all three, and all three. It's interesting because they follow the same pattern. They are down across the board, sales wise. But this is in comparison to last year, and mortgage rates are still near 7%, and
To give
different factors
context,
also.
yeah, when you look at these slides, and to give everybody context, and then in the chat you can put it in, is we had 2 years of the highest sales. I think we had like 6 million and 7 million, or close to 7 million sales for about 2 years after the pandemic. Our normal market, our normal sales market is about 4 million sales is about what we see. So even though we're down from historic highs. We're still we're getting into a normalized market. And what happens in the market is those of you that jumped on this webinar and are going to share with your friends and are going to learn and use this is the realtor who does explain to their client and explains to them all the things that we're talking about. And you see how I brought in, Larry came in and so did Jonathan, and they knew their market. Like I did not prep them and they knew their market. So looking at this, sales are down, but they're down from historical highs. So there's still going to be a lot of business, and you just need to continue to let your customer know that the right house for them, right? They need a house for life changes. So that's still going to go on, and we're still going to see that 4 million sales in my eyes. That's not going to change. It's just it was so high, Chris. I mean, we're up like 200% in some areas, right? So things have to adjust a little bit.
Yeah, no, great point. And I love your advice to realtors, and it made me think of Eddie Blanco was on one of these, and he says he always gets the question, "How's the market?" And his answer is, "Which one?" Right? There's so many different markets, and you have to know your market, that your niche. So, all right, so let's talk about more advice, more ways we could help the realtors that are on the call. Are you guys using Market Watch on Matrix? It's a great way to see what's happening in your market. Alfredo, do you use Market Watch, and how could that help everybody?
I do use Market Watch. It's a great tool. It's a oldie but a goodie, but it's just a good way for every week for you to have like your update, right? So you're looking at what's coming soon. You could see there. I mean, that's also a great screenshot to send to a seller that might be, why is my house not selling as quickly? You could send them a look, these houses 269 price decrease. You could show them people are reducing. So it's a great tool to know what's happening in the market, kind of at a quick snapshot level. And it's a really it's a really great tool.
And I believe you know Natasha Tello, so she might have some influence in you using this.
She does. She taught me a lot about stats over the years. Working with her for close to 16 years, and now she taught me a lot about this stuff. She was past chair for 2013, for those who don't know, but this is one of the best tools that we can use for that quick snapshot of what's going on.
Definitely. All right. Here are some other ways. Are you guys using SunStats? A lot of the charts that I'm using in this PowerPoint were created from SunStats, and I literally did it, in minutes. And like I said, on sfmarketintel.com, I hope you wrote that down. We have zip codes of every single zip code in South Florida. You will have the third quarter reports by later this afternoon. And are you using RPR? That is a free, RPR is a free Miami service. SunStats is a free Miami service. And of course, you could get the information at sfmarketintel.com. Here's RPR. This is what you could get on SunStats. All right, let's take a look at new pending sales. Hey, we're seeing the same trends on the closed sales. They're down across the board, Miami-Dade, but for a lot of the reasons that Alfredo was mentioning earlier, in comparison to where the market was those 2 years, it's incredible. Let's move over to dollar volume, sum of all sale prices in a given time period. Alfredo, this chart always boggles my mind. I mean, when you add up these numbers, and this is just in 1 month, and you know what? This is not even including new construction because a lot of that's not in the MLS, but really a powerful industry that we have, right?
Yeah, if you look at this number, and that's just 1 month, that's all the business. And I think you said it, this doesn't count new construction, correct?
Yeah, it
So
doesn't.
that shows you, and this is a great stat to use, that shows you the amount of money that is pouring into Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach. The amount of businesses that are coming in that might not see again, right? At this level. So it's kind of those of you that are obviously, everybody here works in this market, is you're ahead of it. You're here while this is happening. But it's wild to see. And if you see that, it's going to continue, especially down here in South Florida.
Definitely. All right. And so let's take a look at months of supply. This is a very important metric, especially now. 6 to 9 months, how we've always done it is a balanced market. The association has always said that's a balanced market, 6 to 9 months. If it's less than 6 months, it's a seller's market. If it's more than 9 months, it's a buyer's market. And this is the way how you could calculate it. You'll be able to look at it at your leisure. When you get the PowerPoint, I'll email to you if you put your email in the chat. But Alfredo, I'm going to go back to what Jonathan, one of the celebrities that came on earlier, he was saying, I wrote that down, the best inventory levels that we have seen, that he has seen in years. So this is, buyers have a lot more choices now, and this is great for the market.
Yes, good for the market. The sellers need to understand that their 200,000% increase in price is already built in. So they need to understand that market. That's our job, right? As a real estate professional, to tell that client. But yeah, it swings quick and it moves fast. So right now it's entering that buyer side with 7.8 months of inventory, but that can change quickly. So you just have to keep an eye out on that, because you saw, I think probably if you go back to 2 months ago, it was probably like at 5 months. And now 2 months later, and I haven't watched it, but I'm assuming if I go back and look at your old reports,
You're
that
correct.
it's about 5 months, and now you're looking at 7 in a 2 month change. So as a realtor, it's understanding this. Like you said it, Jonathan mentioned it, the inventory is there, but it's helping the buyer understand the rates are not coming down to 2%. So they have their choice of a house now.
Yes. Okay, so here's a look at Broward. Seller's market on the single family side, balanced market on the condo side, Palm Beach.
Real quick, Chris, on these, when you're seeing these stats and everybody watching this, when you're looking at this, is an opportunity to call your clients, have a conversation with them. End of year is probably one of the best times to buy. The sellers really need to sell, and the buyers really need to buy, right? Sometimes for tax purposes, sometimes for changes in work, sometimes for changes in things. But this time of year is probably the best time. And I know we have a few holidays in between, but it's probably one of the best times to get everybody under contract. I'd say, unless you have the cash buyers, if you're doing financing and you can finance pretty quick, really like the second week of November, you have to get those clients. So you have like 3 more weeks. So make those calls and be proactive, because the inventory is there. And when the new year starts, Chris, then they have to fight with all the other buyers that were on the fence. So this is sometimes a great time for your buyers to sell their home, and the sellers to be the first one to market. So just think about it 2 ways: your seller's first shot to be on market, and your buyers don't have to compete as much as they do at the beginning of the year. So I've always found this a good time. the real people come out now and do things. So it's always a good opportunity.
Oh, I love that. That's one of my sound bites that I'm writing down. Great advice there. End of the year, best time to buy. I think that was awesome. Great job there. So here's a look at 1 million and above. You know, I know what speaking with Ron Sheffield and other top brokers, the 1 million and above, it takes a little longer to sell. So 12.6 is about normal, I believe. So
Yeah, it had gone down. You could see, I mean, at one point it was less than a year and it had dropped. We see that coming up because of the inventory and the rates, right? And different things in the market. But that market could change, the million and up could change pretty quick because remember, that's cash. So they can close quickly on properties. So you need to be ahead of it is pretty much hopefully the message that everybody's getting across is you want to be ahead and having those conversations now so you don't come January wonder where the business went.
yes, be proactive. And here's a way you could also look at, different price buckets and how that changes, whether it's a seller's or buyer's market. Really interesting if you break it down by price bucket. And really, I would love to have, 5 million and above because we're seeing so many of those 5 million and above and seeing those metrics as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I just
Alfredo.
want to say, yeah, no, that's kind of the new normal. Seeing those $1 million like the new normal for a home. And Chris, you're from California, so I did this once, and I used our website and I looked at homes in California, and there was 3 bedroom, 1 bath homes that were like 1,200 square feet, and it was almost $1 million.
Yeah.
So if you want to know what the market might look like here in the future, and you might be seeing in some pockets, is just look at what happens in the West Coast, or go Google a studio, or go look on your apps and look at a studio in New York, how much it costs in some of the big markets. So hopefully that's making the shift of we are a truly global market, and that is 5 million is not something out of the norm these days.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, and going back to that graphic that comparing Miami to, New York and how much value you get into California. Yeah, it's amazing. All right, Alfred, I wanted to ask you, these are new, our design team created these. These are Q3. Again, we have Q3 stats on sfmarketintel.com, and it breaks it down by city. And we put these are hottest markets, so the lowest amount of months of supply. So Mr. 305, any of these cities that really caught your eye that are really moving today?
So the cities didn't catch my eye, but what caught my eye is this is probably one of the best graphics for you to use from Photofy. I got it right, Chris? Photofy?
Yes,
Yeah.
Photify.
So put your photo on there and do that. But this is probably one of the best graphics because your sellers and buyers are watching this. And this can show them the inventory. So you can see in these graphics, probably one of the best things is Miami Gardens might now say 3 months. But I think if you look at the beginning of the year, it might have been 1 month. So this is probably one of the best tools that your clients will see. And they'll start to look and be like, wait, I need to sell now because the inventory is increasing. Or I can buy now because now I have more properties. So this is a great graphic to get from Photofy, and just put your photo on there and put your information so your clients can see it. It's an easy way to show them what's happening in the market. So that's what stands out to me about this. What also stands out is we're in a balanced market. So remember that 6 to 9 months goes into a little bit more buyers. We're still sitting about a balanced market, but it could change like in a blink of an eye. So just keep an eye out on that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that plug for Photify. That, by the way, is another free Miami service. It's only available on your phone. And you could get more information at miamirealtors.com/Photify. You could find more information. All right, Broward, what are the hottest markets in Broward? Well, number one in single family side is Sunrise. And condos, the number one market is Plantation. Alfredo, any of these that you'd like to talk about?
I do. So these are good. And if you go back to the next slide too, something important, well, you can jump back and forth, but Sunrise is an area right now that if you've done the city spotlights. So if you don't know what a city spotlight is, we do that every quarter, one in Miami and one in Broward. And we try to make sure that we have information that you have your mayors, your city planners, all of those people there. So Sunrise, I think, has done a great job bringing in infrastructure and different things to attract the buyers that want to come in there. So you could see the month supply is low there, but a lot of people are moving in. So that's why the supply hasn't caught up. Some of the other areas, like if you look at Pembroke Pines, if you look at those other areas, there's not much more they can build. There's not much more land in those areas. So the supply might not jump up as much because there's just the people are staying. So just to know your market, and I would definitely, if you're on this, I would go to a city spotlight so you can hear directly from the representatives that are part of these cities.
Excellent. Yes, please go to our city spotlights. And then, so here's a look at Palm Beach, the hottest markets in Palm Beach. Boynton Beach ranks #1 for single family. Palm Beach Gardens ranks #1 on the condo side. And we just got a message. Thank you, America, for the post. She writes, next month's city spotlight is taking place at sunrise. Don't miss it. There you go.
I did not know that, but there we go.
It's perfect. Perfect. Thank you. All right. So let's talk about active inventory. Number of active listings at the end of the month. Important metric here. And just what Alfredo's been talking about it throughout the entire program. Inventory's been creeping up. And this is what you'll see. But again, it's year over year, but we're still below the historical average. And hopefully people put that into context.
Yeah, it's definitely, you see the line kind of evening out a little bit, but the big jump. So just keep an eye out for that, especially with the inventory. And for the sellers that need to sell, that they're aware of that.
All right. Okay, so let's move on here to what we've talked about so far. Inventory still below pre-pandemic levels. It's actually on the condo side, it's still down 25.9% versus pre-pandemic. Mortgage rates projected to decline. Our chief economist forecasts sales to rise later in the year. And of course, price appreciation continues to be the story. All right, global study answers. Did you get them correct, Alfredo?
I definitely did not, but I know someone in the chat. I know someone in the chat did and was paying attention to you, Chris.
All right, let's see who got it first. The first question is, what is the top foreign country purchasing in South Florida? So I'm going to go back to in the chat. Trying to get to, all right. And the winner in the chat, congratulations. I'm gonna give, it's a two-way tie. America Ramirez and Richard Gray both answered Colombia right at 2:16 p.m. They are the two winners. Congratulations. Great job. Yes, it's
Congratulations.
Colombia. It's #1.
And Omar, that's a great idea. So Omar put in the chat, he asked, can we get these slides in Spanish? So definitely any ideas that you have like this, share with us, share with Chris, share with the association. These are things that we could definitely work on getting for you. That's one of the cool parts about Miami is they really take the ideas and put it together.
Definitely. All right. Second question is, how many total countries purchase real estate in South Florida? Did anyone answer this one? It's 52. I'm not sure. It's a tough one. Yeah, I don't see anybody, but it's 52. Remember that. It's 52 countries purchased, and we'll see what happens when we get our new study that comes out in December. And then this one is one of our top slides that our CEO loves. Teresa loves this one here. 47% of all sales in Florida happen in South Florida. It's amazing. And what's amazing to me here is look at the difference between #1 and #2. You would think Orlando would be higher, but really amazing how the share that of global sales that we have here, right, Alfredo?
I think we were lucky enough to take a tour of the Fort Lauderdale airport and the Miami airport. I think that's one of the key parts is we have two major airports that all these people can fly into. So I think that plays a big part in it, that we have that infrastructure that's being built. So I'm here in Orlando actually today for the CEO symposium with all the presidents. That's why you see all celebrities coming through. So yeah, I think that's a factor too, that you see it's easier for them to travel in and out of our cities.
Yeah, and don't forget about Palm Beach International. I know that airport has won a lot of awards top airport in the US.
Oh, so I didn't know that. So there we go.
Yeah. Tools and resources. Let's talk about what we've gone over. Yes, thank you. Look at Luis Garcia, Colombia. Yes, you're right. And Shannon guessed Argentina, which is a very good guess because they're right there, number 2. Tools and resources of how you guys could improve your business. Are you using SunStats, free Miami service? Are you using our co-branded material? This is free for members. We have top reasons to buy, top ranking markets. We talked about Photify. This is free Miami service, only available on your phone. You get these templates that you add your headshot, your information, even your company logo. It's free, guys. It's free. Next slide is our market reports. This is what you'll see on sfmarketintel.com. Type that in. I typed that into the chat. And then we put together these market focus reports. We have a great team here. We do videos, we do infographics. You're going to see that on social media. Zip code reports, city reports. It is on sfmarketintel.com. I'm going to go ahead and type it into the chat, sfmarketintel.com.
While you type that in, all these tools, if you're not using them, these are great tools. Like just to send an email out to your clients, just to send a text message out. You don't have to do it all fancy or create the stuff. I mean, it'd be great if you use the photo file and all the tools, but just screenshotting this or downloading it and sending it to your clients via text and letting them know, obviously in a TCPA friendly, compliant way, sending a text message out is always good.
That's perfect. All right. And next we have RPRs. It's included with your membership in great reports that you could pull there. And then if you have a question on Photify, a question on SunStats, a question on any of our products or services, these are the people that could help you. I would email trainers@miamire.com. These 3 put on so many classes that they are ready to help you. And then, so let's talk about cross-market demand. Alfredo, so these are which markets are looking at our listings. This is from realtor.com. It has a great widget. You could put in any county. It's pretty cool. But
I got a good one here on this. Sorry, go ahead, Chris. I didn't mean
oh
to.
no, go for it. I was gonna ask you how could realtors leverage this graphic right here?
Sorry, another famous person coming out here. So this is a great tool to find out what companies are coming here. So you shared it in the stat earlier, but I was trying to figure out what Loudon or London, I don't know how to say it, County, Virginia. So I Googled it and it has a bunch of different tech companies. It has Verizon, Airlines, Raytheon, Northrop Grumman. So a lot of businesses. So for those of you that see this Miami put together, you might want to, when you get a random place that you might not know about, like that county or something like that, is see which companies are moving in here. Because that's how then you know where you can go and either speak to the HR departments or find out what's going on there. So that was a fun fact that I found because I did not know number 5 why they would be moving down here, but it's a big tech sector, and obviously Miami's been big on tech, so that's what we've seen come down here.
Yeah, there you go. That's a great advice there. So those are the markets looking at Miami-Dade. Who's looking at Broward? You got some New Yorks obviously in here. You got Los Angeles in here. A way that realtors could. What do you think about building referrals with other realtors in these counties here?
I think you just said it. That's probably the best way to do it. And this changes. So, I mean, you all update this every quarter, but I know sometimes like there was a while where California was at the top and now it's changed. So that's also a great tool for you to, like you said, reach out to the other realtors in those markets and get those referrals. So it's not just looking at the business that are coming in, but looking at, your fellow realtor and your partners in these other states.
Yes. All right. Palm Beach County. Amazing. Look at how many New York counties. I think it's all of them, right? They love Palm Beach. Really amazing how they're looking at our market. All right. And so here's my information. Chris@miamiare.com. Here is our social media handles. Alfredo, incredible job. I love the celebrities you're able to pull on, and you're right. We had a lot of sound bites. Thank you. Any final takeaway you have for everybody here?
I found our CEO's world famous John. John is here. So those of you who don't know,
Hey, John.
PK's husband, but our unofficial CEO. So we're doing the stats here. So what were you saying, Chris? You want me to give you a final
Yeah, your final takeaways.
So no, my takeaway is for those of you that are on here, for those of you that are in the watching this and the market is, you just make sure you communicate out to your clients and that you're sharing the information properly and just using these tools that we have, and that I think is the best way for you to get ahead of the market.
Yeah, no, I love it.
John,
All
anything you
right.
want to share? I know you love Miami.
I love Miami. 31 years I lived in Miami.
31 years. So
And I was a commercial broker at one time.
there you go.
Excellent.
More celebrities came in. Thanks.
Hey, thank you so much. A very fun hour, and thank you to everybody who stayed with us. Pretty much, 40 people strong the whole way. So thank you, Alfredo. You're awesome. Thank you to everybody. And I will email you this PowerPoint once I tabulate all the emails. But thank you
Thank
all.
you,
and have
Chris. Just want to say thank you, Chris. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, all the leaders and all of you. And good luck out there in the market. If you need anything, reach out to us and let us know.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys. We'll see you next month.